Hey, and how's it going? Welcome to the Jade Throne Podcast YouTube channel, or like the Jade Throne YouTube channel. Regardless, it's we're finally getting around to doing audio or video content, video, not just audio anymore. So you get to see this whole situation, and kind of this was holding off. Going to start doing this a little bit closer to like doing some like actual play stuff with maybe some LCGs and things before I did this, but then out of nowhere before Gen Con, Fantasy Flight, we see a little post that there's a legendofthefiverings.com, and as you can see, this is not a slapdash website. We got, the deluxe Squarespace skills, we have an actual like website. There's some news articles that have come up, and we got told that we're gonna have the announcement of something coming at Gen Con, and it's gonna have its own booth, which is like it's not a tiny booth either. It's a good sized booth. So I thought we'd just kind of test drive here of doing video content. Why not take a look at the new L5R website? So first things first, we have this splash screen, it looks like. We've got a series of articles. We're going to be looking at the Legend of the Five Rings comes to Gen Con, but it's also going to be interesting to kind of touch on this Align with No Pride, where we get to see a Ronin version of Totori, which makes sense because as you scroll down and you get this, we've entered the Clan War era of FFG L5R, which for those who maybe have never touched like the old L5R, the Clan War was a big thing in kind of the first like arc, if you will, of like original L5R. The Clan War was kind of where you jumped in after the Scorpion Clan coup, which is about where we ended in FFG L5R canon. So we've entered the Clan War. It looks like the Emperor's dead. Spoilers. So dead Emperor, and now there's no real power structure and everything, so power vacuum, clans are gonna squabble. So yeah, the clan wars have come to Rokugan. Enter a realm of heroism, magic, and steel, where warring samurai clans clash for power, prestige, duel for love and revenge, and fight to save the very soul of Rokugan. Which, that last line is going to be relevant for something else we see a little further on. But so get a nice splash into this, letting us know the Emperor's dead, everyone's squabbling, and then an ancient enemy returns. 7 heroes have to rise, or the realm will fall. So we're entering like the Seven Thunders. So once again, old canon. One representative of each clan was like a reincarnation of a thunder. The thunders were the ones who sealed Fulang in the first place with all the black scrolls. We saw all the black scrolls show up there at the end of the LCG. So we're I think we're entering in that classic Second Day of Thunder storyline as well. So we're finally getting stuff that's moving the meta narrative forward, which is huge in my opinion, and gives them the clan wars in Second Day of the Thunder. We're moving into something that I think is very good for board games, for like a bunch of different things. If I put my take my knit cat off and put the tinfoil one on, if we wanted to do like cooperative LCGs, a Descent style board game, or like a skirmish game, the Clan War is like the Clan Wars, where they said that's what the name of the original L5R miniatures game was. So I think it's really telling that we've entered this kind of era, and we're having like these announcements and stuff. So there's a lot this could do. Even if it's just like a Clan War board game, I think that's going to be really fun, because there's all kinds of cool stuff that happens during the Clan War. But I think it's going to be more than that. We have this fancy site. We have a quick rundown of all the clans and their narrative, and talks about all the different families. I have not deep dived the Discover the Great Clans and all that. I will say it is telling that the Shadowlands has its own blurb, and all of the like Onis and stuff, the greater Onis we had from the Underfooling Shadow are in there, and they have their blurbs that talk about them. So I think we're going to maybe see more of the spooky Shadowlands stuff coming into, and more of the like fantastical elements entering into like Rokugan proper, and some supernatural baddies. It's always fun to fight the big scaries. But as I learn how to use this whole setup, I was scrolling on my recording software. But yeah, we keep going. The Explore the Emerald Empire page here is really cool, because we see it takes both Adventures in Rokugan at one end of the spectrum, and at the other we have 5th edition L5R RPG. But the two that I think are really telling, by the way, if you haven't read the Daidoji Shin books, they're actually really good. Poison River audiobook, rock solid. Highly recommend. I'm excited that like these have taken off, as have the Night Parade of 100 Demons and A Game of 100 Candles. Those are also there we go. Those are also, I haven't got to read those yet, heard nothing but good things. Several of these L5R novels have just got rave reviews, so if you haven't checked any of them out, totally recommend Daidoji Shin. The Heart of Ichiban is on my list. It is actually, as soon as I finish Stormlight Archive Book 4, I will be jumping into this. If you're curious and want to give it a look, or not Heart of Ichiban. It is out. You can read like the first 24 pages on their website that you get through here. If you want to check it out before picking it up, it looks like it's reintroducing Ichiban. Old L5R people know he's a good big bad to have around. He's an interesting character. And the sequel book is coming out in September, Soul of Ichiban. So no spoilers on that, but we are getting... I think these are cool. These are a thing that push the meta narrative forward, and adding a classical villain in. It's also telling that Ichiban and Daigatsu both got miniatures from Loot Studio earlier this year, with like a diorama and everything that you could 3D print. So that has me curious. Loot Studios typically caters to like role-playing games, so maybe we could see something with Adventures in Rokugan touching on that stuff. That's speculation at this point, but it's cool to be seeing a Daigatsu and an Ichiban miniatures through Loot Studios that coincide with the Heart of Ichiban here, and we're getting like a kind of resurgence, and we're entering the clan war. So I think there's a lot of cool stuff on the horizon potentially, and I'm hoping we're entering like an era where like we got the novels established, we have like the RPG, we got like board games happening, and all that brand synergy can like spin around, and we can start seeing brand synergy. Like, I just want more products, man. Like, I mean, I was excited for like the worker placement, like River City, like Euro game they were saying coming out next year. But if we can get like spicier things that push like the narrative forward, like, I mean, come on, it's a little more exciting than Port City Commerce, but just a little bit more exciting. So once again, they have where you can learn more about the different realms, the different like all kinds of stuff. But then we get down here to the bottom, and we'll just bounce over to these actual like news articles. So this one, it's just like a little blurb. If you want to give it a read and everything, a little blurb to let us know that like we've got Ronin Totori. Like, after what happened at the end of L5R LCG, like, the timeline, you always end up, no matter what he does, Totori has to be stripped of his, head of the Lion Clan and become a Ronin. So, yeah, we've got Ronin Totori, which, old L5R fans, Totori's army was like the Ronin faction. So, be interesting. We don't have a card game. Not currently. We could, maybe in the future. We got an if or when here in a minute, so that they could do it again. But yeah, Ronin Toturi, man. It's interesting because this did drop. So if we look at, where is it? Boop, 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 up here at the top. This came out on the 21st. And when we tab over here, oh, I clicked on the wrong one, everybody. We don't want our new domain. We want L5R is coming to Gen Con. But announcing the website July 20th. July 21st, we got the Toturi. And then on the 25th, we got the announcement that L5R is coming to Gen Con. And I'm gotta drive fast. We're not gonna watch the video on here. If you want to watch the video, come to the website. It's super short. Basically, it's not a card game that's getting announced here at Gen Con. They said if and when they do a Gen Con, or not a Gen Con, a card game, they will let us know. So that's an interesting phrasing, leaving it open-ended. So as we all know, the big thing FFG is launching at not launching, they're demoing it. It's getting its like big public debut is Star Wars Unlimited. So FFG is re-entering the competitive card game space. Now, whether they're going to do that with an LCG, unlikely. Maybe we see a cooperative thing come out of this. Who knows? Right now, we know whatever this is, it is not a card game. So, assuming a board game. But booth 809, right here. Let's zoom in. Zoom and enhance, everybody. But this little booth right here is not a small booth. And they did not announce what is in that booth on the actual Expo Hall document they have up on the Gen Con website. Booth 809 was just listed under the Asmodee umbrella. So this is like a big, like it's its own booth, it looks like. And it's not a small booth either. Like, if you look at this booth, it's, about half the size of Direwolf's booth. Half of what, like, I think Rio Grande Games, it's like half the size of its booth. So it's, 1/4 of an upper deck. So it's like a full booth. So presumably we're going to see something, substantial there. So, but I think it's interesting. The fact that they're heavily using the Clan War, they're moving their timeline forward. The website isn't a slapdash job. It's touching on the RPG, the novels, and this board game, presumably. I think we're like, we've had a couple of years, like our Legend of the Five Rings has been dormant. When the LCG was canceled, we were told that there were games in development, and we're starting to see that. And I think that's a good thing. Like, some people are like, oh, it's been so long. It's fine. You want it to be a little bit. Like, even if they started working on this stuff a year before the LCG ended, it's had like a 4-year development cycle, effectively, or 3-ish years. Because if it's, getting announced, everything, it's probably out to print. So that's 3 years. That's a good amount of time to let something like incubate, let those ideas grow, let them, be play tested, let them be honed and be a really like well-made experience. So I'm glad they didn't rush this. The LCG back in the day, I do feel they felt themselves on a time constraint after buying up in 2015, launching in 2017. I feel like, maybe it didn't have, maybe if it went a few more iterations, we could have got a more distilled product like we were getting toward at the end of the game's lifespan and everything. So I think it's had time to cook. I think we're going to see something cool. And hopefully, hey, maybe that was like a bait and switch and they're like, if and when we announce a card game, you guys will know. And it's going to be at Gen Con when they make a big announcement. Or maybe it's just some board games that are set in like the Clan Wars era and we get to start exploring the narrative like across a bunch of different media. And either of those are good. In my heart of hearts, I'm hoping for a skirmish scale miniatures game. But that's because, I hate having money. But if it's a cooperative living card game, what they've done with Lord of the Rings, Arkham, and Marvel Champions is a rock solid products. L5R lends itself to that formula as well. So hey, maybe we see something like that. Maybe we see something like a skirmishing miniatures game. Maybe we see something Descent like. I don't know. If it's just we get like a big box like 4X game where I get to play one of like the different clans and move things around a hexagonal board, then I'm down for that too. I've played a really shameful amount of Twilight Imperium in my life, and if we just slap a samurai skin on it, I will continue to play a shameful amount of a game like that. So, but yeah, I just wanted to get like a little video out here. I thought this was a great opportunity to kind of tinker and get like something with like a video format out here and start moving forward with this. As you know, with the podcast, we started covering Star Wars Unlimited. I want to cover some stuff actually with the living card game stuff. So expect maybe some Marvel Champions plays here soon as I await. As you can tell with the camera quality here, it does okay when it's a little box like this, but if I expanded it and it was like your full thing and I was trying to record cards, it'd be a little bit rougher around the edges. So new camera for that should be here soon, and some other things. So hopefully some like actual gameplay content and everything coming to the channel here in the near future. So I finally get to do the if you like what you've seen, you're gonna follow me for more L5R news, more Star Wars Unlimited content, LCG content, news, all that fun stuff. Maybe miniatures play if I can make the quality up to par how I feel it should be with that. Then hey, like, comment, and subscribe, and see what becomes here with the channel in conjunction with the podcast and everything. So from the visual medium, this has been the Jade Throne. I've been Shay, and take it easy, everyone.